Hi, and welcome to Three Questions with my buddy Paul Falewicz with us. Good morning, Paul. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me again, Kevin.
So, Paul, I asked you to come on the show today because I saw a post you did the other day that made me literally start laughing. And it was the difference between revenue and net income. And we're all guilty of this, Paul, at least most of us. Hey, Paul, I made a ton of money this year, revenue-wise. All of a sudden, we didn't pay attention to those expenses. You're like, wait, Paul, how did I make twice as much money this year, but less net income? You got to watch all sides, not just the top line, right?
Yeah, the top line, the bottom line, all those lines on that profit loss or income statement are very important. But I tell people all the time that they need to really focus on the profit. The revenue is great. We all want more revenue. However, if the revenue is not making you money, your business is suffering. Years ago, I worked for a company. The owner wanted $100 million company. He wanted to be able to brag to his friends. He wanted to be able to show that he has this $100 million company, yet it cost $100 million to make $100 million. So he had nothing on the bottom line. It really wasn't as impactful as it was. And I tell people all the time, I'd rather have less revenue and more profit because that means that's more cash in your pocket. So we need to really focus on that bottom line, the profit. If you're pricing everything correctly, if you're paying your expenses, you're doing everything you need to do, that profit will be there.
So I got a follow-up question about focus. So what happens, Paul? We start our business, we don't hit the revenue goals we want. So we start diversifying our offerings. Hey, I'm going to do this too. Hey, I'm going to offer this too. And then we get to the point where we just don't know where the money's really coming from. We're spending hours doing things that just really aren't all that profitable just to try to get that higher net income. We have to see what makes sense and what's making us money too, right?
Yeah, I mean, you really need to focus on where everything is coming from. So who your primary market is, where really you're going to be driving that revenue from, and then making sure that revenue is profitable. So again, you're looking at the type of clientele that's going to be the infamous thing: work smarter, not harder. So it's the same thing with the profitability. You want to find stuff that will be more profitable for you so that you're actually bringing in more money. But you need to realize that some tasks are going to take 5 hours to do and you're going to get $5. One task is going to take an hour and you're going to get $100. Which one are you going to do over the course of the 5 hours? I mean, for me, it's kind of a no-brainer, but for a lot of people, something else is driving them to stay at that $5 one and not really getting the benefit that they should be within their business.
So Paul, last question for today. I really like talking to people, doing video interviews. I don't really like doing accounting. And I've done it in my life, which is kind of ironic and stuff. But I find a lot of people, they just do what they like to do. And geez, Paul, I don't want to think and worry about that. If that's you, shouldn't you just outsource it to you, someone like you, saying, hey, let's just get someone to do this for us to make sure we are staying on track, that we don't have that. I worked really hard this year, Paul, and that's all I made. That's important, right?
It's very important to find the right partners no matter what type of industry it is. So it's accounting, it's marketing, it's IT, it's all the weaknesses, I guess, that you have within your business that you're not good at. And I'll use the construction example. You're good at swinging the hammer, you can build the house, but you have no idea that you're paying your employees, you have no idea that you have to pay your expenses, you have no idea you need to collect once you're all done, when the project is done. That's where that outsourcing comes in, to find someone who's going to make sure that you're really focused on that and you have a great understanding of it. And I try to talk to it in like 10-year-old terms so that people understand it and not try to talk debits and credits and really watch someone cross-eyed over accounting, which, as we get out of our industry, we can really talk about stuff when you're talking to people. However, for a business owner, for someone that doesn't understand it, you really need to bring it down to a level that they understand so that they can really focus on it, so that they understand where that importance is and find the right partner in order to outsource stuff to people. Or there is value that goes in it. It is an expense sometimes, but there has to be a value that they're getting back. And for me, it's a time saving for the business owner. It's one less thing on their to-do list that they have to worry about if I'm able to do their accounting and I'm able to help them at that point.
So Paul, what's the best way for people to reach out to you? How can they learn more?
Best way to reach me via my website, Succentrix.com/Paul Falewicz, or send me an email, paul.falewicz@Succentrix.com.
Paul, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to come on the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thanks for the time, Kevin.